right, again, thank you so much for choosing to join us, our dear esteemed viewers. We come to you, this is Holistic Wellness, brought to you by Madam Ann Karambu, together with Salem Consultants. Thank you for always joining us every other Tuesday, every week, as we bring to you holistic talks that are geared into empowering you to become that person God predestined. We've been handling a few things before, and last week we started this amazing topic: dating, courtship, engagement, marriage, and all that stuff. And we were able to handle a little bit about dating, what dating is, and today we want to get deeper into that. And I'll request Madam Ann to say hi to our viewers and give us a recap of what we had last week.
Hi everyone, it's good to have you this morning. I am this afternoon, sorry, we are already in afternoon. Before maybe I do the recap, I'll ask my colleague, Pastor Rose, to also say hi to the viewers.
Good afternoon, viewers. We are grateful to be back this day.
So thank you so much, Festus and Madam Rose. We bless God that we are here this morning. And thank you, viewers. Thank you for everyone that is online at this moment, and even those that will be watching later. Feel welcome and part of our discussion, and kindly be sending your comments and questions online inbox. We can be able to answer those that we can. Those that we can't, we will be able to direct you to where you can get the best answers. So yes, we handled the issue of dating, and we defined dating. We said what is dating. We said that it is just simply picking a date. And we said that it is for the purpose of getting to know a person of the opposite sex. Here, we are talking specifically on dating for people of the opposite sex. We understand that there are other datings in the environment and times we are in.
Yeah.
So we are talking about dating a person of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
So of course, for a girl going out on a date with a boy. So of course, we also said that there are few principles of dating. Why? What will tell me that I am ready to go for a date? We talked about being able to understand yourself. Who are you? What do you want? And what is this, the ideal self? What is this that you want to achieve in the future? So the moment you reach that level, then you are ready to start dating. Unfortunately, we understand that most people date not because of this reason. Most of people start dating even without understanding the meaning of it. Some start dating because everybody else is dating. Some start dating because they have reached a certain age. Others start dating because, of course, of peer pressure. That everybody in our class, everybody in our village, everybody in our estate is dating. So those are not reasons why we should date, and those are some of the things we will be looking into today. Why we should, the do's and don'ts of we should not do in dating. Now, of course, we also said that you must also reach a point where you know what you want to achieve in that date. Achieve in terms of who is this kind of a person you would want to bring into your space, into your life. And remember, we said again, dating is not a relationship.
Yeah.
When we make dating become a relationship, that is where we keep hurting other people. Because now when you personalize the relationship and you make the other party feel special to you, and it is not a mutual agreement, that is where we end up hurting one another. So from the very beginning, dating should be very clear that we just need to know each other as friends. The next one is that you need to understand your spiritual standing. Spiritual we said spiritual, intellectual, and physical. And we said that most of the people start their relationships at the physical. And we said when we introduce the physical first, before the intellectual and the spiritual, then the physical overtakes the intellectual and the spiritual. Because the physical is what is connected with emotions. So once we put emotions ahead of reason, what is going to happen is that it will be very hard to bring the intellectual and the spiritual when we've already put physical first. And we said, as we were talking last time, that emotions don't reason. So the moment we have started our relationship in terms of how I feel about that person, and that is what is governing my reasoning, it means that I'm not reasoning at all. And it is part of the reason as to why most people say that love is blind. For me, I believe it is not. If there is anywhere where we need not to be blind, it is in dating. Because this is where we need all our eyes open.
Yeah.
This is where we need our eyes functioning. Because we need to understand, who is this person I'm bringing to my space? Is this person going to accomplish me, or are they going to demolish me? So there is no way then I can do that when I am blind. Good. We also said that the second one is, what are the standards of God? What standards has God set for relationships? What has, not relationships, but dating? There are standards. Meaning, am I going to compromise my godly standards just because I am getting into a date with someone? Or because I want to bring in somebody in my life, am I going to compromise my standards or the principles that I live for? And that's why the first part is knowing myself. Because if I don't understand myself, then I will not know who is this person I am supposed to bring into my space. And maybe before we go to the third and the fourth principle, I would want my colleague to also just mention a bit of what we discussed last week, so that we can get deeper into dating, and then go to what dating is not.
I think there is the emotional part of it. I remember the statement that Madam Anne put forth, that is, emotions don't reason. Once you give your heart to that young man. And I was just thinking about this high school. When are they dating, or what are they doing? Because if it's a mixed school, there is a corner for dating. They call it date corner. Are they dating, or what are they doing? Because I see students have gone to school to learn. But they get up in those groups. You even hear some conflicts, that some so-and-so is mine, don't interfere with. I think that is a misconception. What I remember is that when you're dating, when you set a date, psychologically you should be prepared. It is a date headed to somewhere. That is courtship. There are some experts in dating. Let me say that. And this is to the young men. Because they will date number 1 up to 20, and then they line them up in order of quality. So they know there is number 1, who is the most important, and then number 20. But all the same, they should know that they will only require one wife by the end of the day. Yes.
Just one wife.
Just one.
And I'd wish us we just a little bit, as we continue to touch on that one statement, that emotions don't reason. Feelings don't reason. So most of us, we've mistaken dating for a relationship that is already existing. And therefore, the moment a sister says yes to my cup of coffee, I don't know, sisters, are you not able to make coffee at home? So that no man will buy you coffee elsewhere? I'm just kidding and asking. So the moment you accept maybe my tour or my going to the park, to town, to the game park with you, definitely you are my lady. That's what we know. How can we get...
Festus. Festus, wacha kuongea mbaya. Let me use
Can
that
you
word.
correct that? Yes, correct that stuff.
The part of us not being able to cook coffee at home, please. Festus, wacha kuongea mbaya, I said. If anything, I believe we are the best cooks.
But what happens now? What happens?
Okay, leave alone what happens. Now already, mnaongea mbaya. Now, that will be part of our discussion on what dating is not. So let us not get there before we get to that place. That will be explaining what dating is not. And please, usiongee mbaya tena.
So emotions don't reason.
Yes, at least that one. It's not bad. So our third principle, before Festus decides to talk, let me not put that word. I wanted to just say that talk trash.
Okay, as we get to that, we are having Philip Kim tunes. So good, my love. Together with this, my favorite place. Okay, let me just read the way he said it. I don't know what he's up to. All right. I think Philip is overwhelmed with this love stuff, and here is a love poem. I don't know, he sends this to who? All right, we'll do that later.
Okay, of course, matters of love are pertinent. Everybody likes being loved and loving. Unfortunately, if we don't do it right, that is where we mess. In fact, it can bring the worst heartache. I mean heart. It can bring the worst heartache in our lives. And in fact, the line between hate and love is very thin. The same intense you love someone, you can flip on the other side and hate them with the same intensity. And the reason as to why we are having this discussion is so that we don't get to that level of jumping or getting into something that is not there. And of course, that's why we are understanding, when am I ready? When am I ready? Definitely, as she was talking about high schoolers, I would really recommend students who are in school not to get into relationships at all. Because one, they have not even known who they are. One of the things that happens a lot in high school is that we all at that stage go through a lot what we call identity crisis. We are trying to understand ourselves. So there is no way you can be in a crisis and at the same time you're connecting with someone else who is in crisis. What is going to happen and what you're going to produce is confusion.
Yes.
And that's why now, instead of somebody being revising and concentrating with books, they are forming camps of dating corners, of course, the pairing, and definitely at this point, even the things we promise these girls and the boys to give them, it is things we have stolen from our parents. So there is really nothing that we have to offer apart from sex, because the sexual organs are operational. So that is the only thing you have to offer. And remember, this is what we want to avoid the most in a dating setup, because and these are the things we are saying that they don't reason. The moment we have put the issue of sex ahead of reason, we will not reason again. So we will go all the way, then mess up and realize we messed when we had time to think before
doing that.
So yes, I would say no, please. Students, people who are still in school, especially high schoolers, college goers, at least by 22, somebody already understands themselves. They have even paved way. They have already understood the direction they want to take in life, and at least they are aspiring to become something. And then again, it's just a few years to someone getting ready for marriage.
Yeah, sure.
What I normally don't understand is how I can be in a relationship for 10 years. Because if I got into a relationship when I was in Form 1, it means I will use the 4 years, in high school. 1, 2, up to Form 4, waiting.
Oh my.
Remember, not only waiting for that person to finish school, but also waiting to have a sexual relationship with them. If there is any waiting that is hard, it is that one. So it will be so hard for me to be sexually pure for that long time. It will be very hard. So as I am waiting for these 4 years, no sex, no kissing, no those romantic words, because the moment they come, definitely I will be aroused sexually. So how will I manage the feelings that come with it as a student? Remember, I'm supposed to be concentrating in school. Now, we get into college, university, 4 years or 5, if you're doing engineering, if you're doing medicine, 6 years. So that is already 10 years. Are you sure, student, you're going to wait for 10 years, sexually pure? That is a lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. And there was silence everywhere. Because most of us are trapped in that stuff. Okay.
So, yes, it is a lie. It can't happen. It is not possible. So the best thing we can do, yes, you don't stop socializing with boys. You socialize with all, without specializing one. That is what we advise. Of course, it is very important to know the boys at that point, teenage, but socialize with all. Don't specialize with anyone. In the process, even in that process of socializing with all, definitely you are able to, from afar, you are able to see, wow, I would like such a character, I would like such one, I would like such. So let it remain at that. If we get into a romantic relationship at that level, this is what we are calling emotions don't reason. Because the moment we land at the point of discussing, now you love me, I hate you, I like your booms, I like your beards, I like your dressing, everything. When we get into those, that is where confusion comes. Because we have aroused the emotions before time. And that is the verse that I remember our pastor read the other time in the book of Songs of Solomon. That don't arouse the love before its time. So this is for the high schoolers and the primary school kids in class 7 and 8. Because this is where we start the boy-girl thing. If we can be able to hold our peace, I am not saying we don't interact with boys. I am saying interact with all. But as we are interacting with them, don't involve romantic relationship. Don't start romantic discussions with when you are in, especially high school, primary and high school. Now, we are already, and remember I said, that time when we were starting, we mentioned around 22 years. That is when someone is mature for dating. Even 18 and 19 still. One is still in that confusion of identity crisis. So it is not very advisable to start even dating at that moment. But now I am at 22 and I am preparing for marriage. So I want to know different people so that I can be able to choose who. And remember, at dating level, it is not a relationship yet. So even the men, don't start asking them whether we can get into a relationship. Tell them, I want to know you more. Simple. Leave it at that. Because the moment you start talking of, I want us to be friends, or I want us to be in a relationship, the girl on the other side will be expecting that now, because we are in a relationship, there are gifts coming, we will be doing outings severally. Of course, I will require very long love messages. If that is what we will be doing at the level of dating, that is again putting emotions ahead. And we will not be able to reason. When it comes to saying no or choosing, definitely someone will be hurt. We will leave someone hurt. It may be the man or the girl. Now, there is this other point that I was saying, that you are ready to date when you don't need to. You are ready to date when you don't need to. What I mean is that this dating that I am getting into is not complementing me. It's not making me complete. I am complete the way I am. I am so comfortable with myself that I don't have to have a boy somewhere or a girl somewhere to feel complete. So this person is coming as a partner rather than a person to complement me or to make me feel worthy. Remember, there are people who date because everybody else is dating. There are people who date because they are not comfortable with themselves.
Okay. It's very important to have self-worth because, you know, you are very expensive. And there is a verse that I can quote concerning that, that give not thy strength unto women, or thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. Let me emphasize that when you start loving, there is some strength that goes out. And that is where you find now there is the emotional part of it. Because you're using a lot of strength. Remember, it's going to the heart and the mind for the case of ladies. You know, they think, they also love with the heart. It's not like men physically. Once you see, okay, we never met, that's all. But once a lady notices a man, that will always linger. I saw a man somewhere, elegantly dressed. Where does he come from? What does he do? You know, for the man, even he didn't note the lady.
And the worst part of it is now, this man I did not just see. They got interested in me.
Yes.
And not only interested, they took me out for a coffee. That coffee.
So, even these words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son? And what? The son of my womb. And what? The son of my voice. So getting into a relationship, love relationship, you have to be cautious. Don't just jump into it. And I'll say, the men that do take the ladies to coffees, not one, not two, not... Do you have your marking scheme? That's my question. Do you have a marking scheme? Or are you doing it for the sake of others are doing it? I don't like the slogan that others are doing it, why don't you do it? Others are others. It is I. I shouldn't do what others are doing. I. I should reason.
Yeah.
Is it right? Unfortunately, let me put it in black and white. Don't think that even it's only to the young people, even older ones, they are taking others for dates.
Even the married ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you have some other interest.
They're still having the marking scheme.
Yeah.
The one you're saying. Yeah.
No, they don't have marking schemes.
What do they have? What are they looking for? They're already in marriage.
There is a need. There is a need that is in my heart that I want to fulfill with the many relationships, and also and I think we are getting into what dating is not, and I don't want us to get there.
Okay. All right.
So we were mentioning the issue of I am ready to date when I don't need to. I don't need. Remember, it's need. The word is need. So if I am dating so that I can be financially supported, there is a problem. If I am not comfortable with how I look, and of course because someone asked me for a date now, I feel confident, I have a problem. If I am dating so that I can please my friends, there is a problem. If I am dating because I'm a certain age, and this age everybody else is dating, then another problem. So I am, until I know I am ready, you should not date. Unfortunately, these things we are reading here are just ideal. Yes, they are ideal. It is very hard to find that. But it is possible to reach there. It is possible to get to that place where you are dating because you have a solid purpose for that date. As you go for that date, you are so sure, this is what I want to accomplish. This is what I want to come out of this place with.
Yeah.
And of course, such that even when the other party may not be comfortable, or you find the other party is not the kind you would want to be dating, you will comfortably tell them no. Because you don't have to go for every date that you are called for. I believe we can be able to say no. So you don't pick any other Tom, Dick, and Jerry that comes, who all of them, picking them and moving with them. So until we are reaching at this level where we don't really need, so it's a matter of choice. I am choosing to go out with you. So even when I am going, I am very particular. As we start our discussion, definitely I will want to know what is this that we are having. What is this? It should be very explained at the start. Unfortunately, most people don't want to explain.
The reason
Yes,
for their meeting,
yes,
that
the
date.
reason for that date. Because when we can be able to comfortably say that I just want to know you more, simple. Let's know each other. And at the level of just knowing each other, if I understand it is knowing each other, so I'll comfortably not conclude that this person is interested in me, or we are in a relationship which is not there. Because most of the people, and I've dealt with so many young girls who are hurting because they think they were in a relationship and they were not. Simply because someone started communication a little, somebody took them out for one day or two, but it was not explained. And this is where I would want to really empower my dear sisters. Please, before you say yes, ask questions. Don't just go and get into the system. And I hear them, some of them telling me, I really don't understand what it is. Kaida, I don't understand. Please don't get into that dating when you understand what that person wants. Before you start concluding that you are in a relationship and you are not.
Yes. I think that's a major part we need to make it very clear, viewers, that dating does not mean you're already in a relationship. Now, you mentioned something. Some allow their emotions to go ahead of their reason.
Yeah.
And just during your first or second date, you got into some sexual intercourse. You got to know each other. Then, by your fifth or sixth dating or meeting, you realize, we just can't match. We just can't. We're not compatible. We just can't agree on so many things. So what happens now? We are here attached by what we've been doing together. Man, let's make this clear. Dating is not being a relationship. So what happens in that case? I want to move out.
Of course, that's why I said that emotions don't reason. So if I started emotionally, you can be sure that I will be hurt. Because when we will be doing that disconnection of that union, and a sexual union is normally a very high level of connection. It is not as there's some that people think that there is something called hit and run. There is no hit and run in sexuality, because there is always a connection that will be left. There is a part of you that will always be left in the other. So the emotional heartache that happens is higher than if there was no sexual connection involved. And when we are talking about sexual, it is important to realize I'm not only talking about penetration. I am talking about the romance that we connect on, even on SMSs. I am talking about the things that young people nowadays are calling make out, because there is a lot of emotional and mental connection that is involved in those two. So the moment I have gotten so much into it, definitely I will have a serious heartache. I will be hurt. And this is where the slogans have come from, that men are dogs and men are useless. You label people because of the level of heartache you got. But it is because you put emotions before. Please, at the level of dating, even if the one party is sending romantic messages, limit them. Stop them. One person can be the stopper. Say no. I think we have not reached here. If you have not defined we are getting married, I don't see the reason as to why we should get romantic.
Yes.
Romance should only come at the level we are in marriage. So why are we going ahead of time? So the moment now our conversation is more of how I feel about you and how you feel about me, that is not dating. In fact, we are already in a relationship leading to marriage. So what happens is that by the time, if one person is to leave another, definitely there will be heartache. Someone will be hurt.
And to avoid that, it's important. Madam Anne says it's very possible one of you can begin the stopper of saying, no, hey, no. Look, we just started dating.
I thought you said we are just knowing each other.
So it's important to make it clear why we are dating for the first time. But in my country, man, pastor, this is what we call you a pastor, now you stand in your office. Are you making this clear in the church that dating is not being in a relationship? Or by any case, are we having dating in the church? Or is it just, I've seen that lady, that sister, she pressed me, we can get started? Because as you answer that, let me connect it to this, that you're able to tell us. And the same case, someone comes and said, I met her, we had a date, we were able to go out for like 2-3 hours. I think I like her, I think she's good, and when I said we should marry, she had no objection. And it's all right, Pastor, are you ready? For her, the pastor's like, oh yeah, you may know each other? Yeah. Been talking and talking and, Pastor, is that happening in the church today?
For me, as a pastor now, even if you like one another or love one another after the dating, my question will be one, did you seek God? Did you seek as a pastor now? Okay, all that I'm not against, you went. And did you seek God? What is God's view concerning this? Did it start with God? Okay, because I believe even when you're going for dating, there is something that God has ministered to you concerning a certain lady. And that's why you're taking a step. The other thing is, when a lady goes out for dating, let me add that, to empower a lady, please don't go without money. Anything can happen. Advancement can be made. Know the location. If you went through with a car of the man or the brother, know where can I get a matatu? Do I have money? In case of any advancement, don't be blind. Go to the bus stop or use a Bolt or Uber. Save your life. So I'm saying dating, just the dating a few days or whatever, you haven't known the person because this was just coffee. You don't know anything else, spirituality, you haven't gone to know this person. Don't be cheated by that suit. It could be a borrowed one. And there you are. So it's good also to pray about it and ask God, what do you say about it? Maybe in the secular world, the suit will attract the lady more and the kind of car. Maybe it's a borrowed car. And then you end up thinking it's yours when you get married. There is a verse that I've traced in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verses 20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor. Verses 21. If a man therefore purge himself from this, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and meet to the master's use, and prepare unto every good work. When it comes to the house of the Lord, you don't belong to yourself. When you are born again, you belong to Jesus. He is the master. It's good to know that you have a shepherd, the chief shepherd. So you are being shepherded to the right person. Not everybody can make a husband. Not everybody can make a wife. But there is the issue of telling God, sanctify me. Make me the person you want me to be. So those traps of dating and then you conclude this is the Holy Spirit will minister. Kuambie hapa, all that glitters is not gold.
Oh, great. There's a part of seeking God. Remember, he's the author of the marriage institution. And this brings me to one more point. We've been able to say it over and over again. That means I should not say yes to move to the next level until I'm so confident about what? In this lady or in this brother.
The setup we are discussing is of where the man is the one who takes the girl
out
for a date, which is the African setup. Mostly this is what happens. It's rarely that you will find, of course, the lady taking the man for a date in our African setup. So before even this man who is godly, now we come out of the secular, who is godly, taking this girl, considering to take this girl, even to know her more.
Yeah.
The living of God
Yes.
is important.
The living of God.
Definitely, yes. Remember, the church setup is different from the secular world. Because in a church setup, you have an opportunity to know this person on very many platforms. You may be in choir together, you may be in a ministry together, you may be doing things together in the church, or you may be knowing them from a different church, but there are these setups that you always see them. So even before you approach them and tell them, I would want us to go for a date so that I know you more, I have already observed that person from afar. I have gone sought God and asked him, can I consider this? And of course make that move of having a sitting with them. But in the process also of having those discussions and the dates, it is important to continue. Now I have taken the role of the pastor. It is important to still continue seeking God. What is God saying concerning this? In the process, as you continue knowing one another, definitely you will feel confirmations and everything. I don't want us to get deeper into that. But the issue is knowing one another. And remember, make your statement clear from the beginning that we are knowing each other. We are getting to understand one another. If something might work out huko mbele, it is okay. If something might be able to work out between us, it is okay. But when we are clear from the beginning, it becomes easier to understand one another. Now, of course, you had mentioned the issue of ladies just wanting to be taken for coffee and everything. It is not like they like being, I don't think it is because they like being taken for coffee, but remember this is a stage of life. I said it comes naturally. There is a specific age where attraction to the opposite sex, which starts from teenage, but at the time we are 20s, it is normally now the readiness for marriage. So the girl is ready for marriage. In fact, they might even have been praying. And then this brother who has been really appealing to them has asked them out. So if you don't define the out or define the date, definitely they will conclude. And remember, you are the one who throws the shots. The man is the one throwing the shots.
Sure.
So depending on how you communicate, I have a big problem with young men, a big one. Because you will write good night messages, good morning messages, how has your day been, send wishing well messages, birthday messages. All of a sudden you're telling the lady, I was not in a relationship with you. What message are you expecting the girl was getting with all that pampering and concern? To the extent there are some instances where you gifts, and that's why, of course, I remember last time we said the want of gifts at the level of dating. Because gifts have a way of reaching to our heart very fast. So the moment I have started receiving gifts, not unless I have guarded my heart, not to open to this person to the level of knowing that I'm in a relationship, I will definitely get hurt. But I think for me, there is a challenge with our young men. Because mostly, I am not really interested with this girl. But the kind of messages I decode in the message, because messages have to be received and interpreted. The way I interpret the messages you send my way is that completely you are interested and we are in a relationship. But when we go ahead, you're like, no, we were not in a relationship. So it is very important also on the man to understand how much am I speaking into the life of this girl, although we are just at the level of knowing each other. So before you go ahead of getting personal into the life, into the space of that girl, kindly be sure that I will lead this girl to marriage. Don't send information or messages that are interpreted like you are already in a relationship. And some of those messages that can be interpreted that way, it is when we share romantic messages, when we become over concerned about the well-being of that person. Because when a person is a general friend, I mean, there is a way we communicate to general friends. So can we, even this person that we are dating with, just the communication be general first before we get to the level of intimacy? Because intimacy is when I am checking on you daily. Daily, I am checking daily. Now that is, to the girl, they will take you special to them, because I have other friends, but they don't check on me daily. I don't know whether that is understandable. So what happens is, when I become too personal, I am too close, I am romantic, I am sending signals saying that I am of value, a lot of value. Definitely, if I am the man is not interested with this girl, the girl will be hurt. And so that we help the girls. Kindly, if a man has not said, let us get into a relationship leading to marriage, please don't conclude. Please don't conclude, because the moment you conclude, you will be hurt. Wait until they speak it with their mouth. Don't add 1 + 1. Wait until it is concluded. Kindly.
That's very true. There are those assumptions that so and so is interested in me, and definitely that person maybe was doing out of a brotherly love. There is a scripture in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verses 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, then the younger as sisters with all purity. So even as you interact with the sisters, you know, there are situations where I realize maybe the chairman of the youth group, you have to be good to all of them. But amidst that, there is one interested. So you end up getting that this young girl thinks when you go for discipleship, you have some interest.
Yes.
But if this leader of the fellowship, or even those who are being led, they would look at this brother as an older brother, and then a sister as a sister. Kuna methali ya Kiswahili inasema kitendawili, ati kuna embe lililoiva na siwezi kulila. In English, there is a mango that is ripe and I cannot eat it. That is discipline. That refers to maybe the nuclear family. But when it comes to now this environment, it's very important to know it is just brotherly love. When you take a sister out for a date, and you are not interested in marriage, let it be very clear. Maybe there is something spiritual you want to share, and you thought that was the best place. So it is very important, as Madam Anne puts it. Can you say why you are out for that meeting? Because what I've realized, they will put all the WhatsApp pictures. And a caution to the ladies, when you're being taken out, can you dress well? Because there is a dressing, now that you're being taken out.
You're already saying yes.
You are already saying yes. You are a temptation to a relationship. So it is very important. You're taking me out for a date. Could you tell me the reason? And I don't think it's proper to post those photos in the WhatsApp and Facebook. You will create some emotional stress, because there are some people maybe who are silently interested
In the same person.
and who knows whether the right partner has been told by God that is your partner. You can imagine the squabbles.
And at what point are we going to be calm, be sober, and treat datings or dates as dates and not as relationships? Are we so desperate? I'm asking this, I want to put myself in the shoes of every young man, young lady. Are we so desperate that if a man asks me out, definitely we're in a relationship? At what point are we going to be sober?
Of course, it is good to also define. It is important for young people to define marriage. I really don't think whether that definition is clear. Two, it is important to also define who we are. Three, it is important to always value the other person. Because if I value the other person, I will not do things that will hurt them. But I think there is a tendency that has been there over the years where for the men, even unfortunately even in the church circles, that it looks like for a young man to conquer many girls, it is bravery. It is important that we say on this set that is not bravery, it is cowardice. Because there is no time, there is no single time you will put 10 women in your house as your wife. So why are you dating at the same time 10 ladies? That is an act of cowardice, not bravery. It has been taught mostly. In fact, the more you conquer, the more manly you are. That is not true. So if we would heed to this word of taking the younger brothers as sisters and taking the older brothers as brothers. I mean, that verse that Madam Rose just read, if we can be able to just take them, that word as it is, when we are interacting with one another, we handle them with respect, then we will be able to handle our dates very responsibly. But also the definition of marriage means to really start early. Because we need to understand, why are we getting married? Am I marrying for a show? Am I marrying so that I become something? Or is it like because I want to be this or the other? So when we define marriage, it will be good. When we understand who we are, it will be very easy to navigate dating the right way. And then that demystifying the part of conquering many girls. I mean, to me, that is the highest level of cowardice. Yes.
So which must be overcome by all ways and all means. And that's when we are saying it's a stereotype to believe that you are a man brave enough, you know, to date so many ladies. And you said you never have them in one roof as your wives. And as Pastor Rose says, she may not have said this directly, but I want to say, when I answer back to your text, when you say hi and I respond back hi, it doesn't mean we are already in a relationship. It doesn't mean I'm already your fiancé or your fiancé. We'll be getting into that. There's a lot more to handle. We just started getting deeper into this stuff about dating. Pastor Rose, what is your final word on today's show to our viewers?
I would like to say, let's be our brothers' keepers. Let's help one another. In case one falls, it's good to follow the right channel. But be one another's keeper. Thank you.
Be one another's keeper. Let's take care of others' feelings too. How does that mean? Okay.
Maybe my parting shot is that dating is it is possible to be responsible in our dating, and when we are dating that other person, it is good to look at them as human beings. When we do that, it will be very easy to connect with them, because we know then we wouldn't want to hurt their feelings once we understand they are also human beings like us. Yeah.
All right, great. It is, let's be each other's keeper. It is possible to be responsible in dating. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to us, to watch this program. Those who are late, checking in on tuning at this time, you can join us on Facebook. Search for Anne Karamumwangi or Salem Consultants. We've shared all that piece of a program. Share with your friend and text us your opinions, your questions, your concerns. We're going to handle them in this program. This has been Holistic Wellness, brought to you by Madam Anne Karambo, together with Salem Consultants, live on Facebook every Tuesday. God bless you for tuning in. I am your host, Festus Mwani. See you